Hello, welcome back. Let's get more about the blockchain. And before we jump into the actual content of this course, I just want to give some more background on the importance and the technology behind the blockchain and the cryptocurrency. So I want to discuss like a two more very special thing which related to the crypto coin, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or blockchain itself. One of them is called the Byzantine Generals problem. What it is, let's take a look at the next slide. So first thing, every transaction we do, like whether it's a financial transaction where you're sending money from one party to the other, or you have any kind of transaction between the two businesses, we have a central authority or the trusted party, the third party we call it, and that is the one who is maintaining the centralized ledger, and all the transaction goes into that ledger, and I trust the third party, you trust the third party, and that's why how the transaction happen. But blockchain is, as I said, is going to automate the trust between the different nodes and the network and the parties. So this is called being referred to as the trust machine by the Economist magazine, where they refer the blockchain technology as a trust machine that will fundamentally transform the way we do business. Means if you want to remove the third party from the middle and you're going to replacing it by the bunch of nodes and the network, how I as a user and you as a user is going to trust, how the system is going to establish a trust so that I can use it to perform any kind of transaction of a digital asset across the network. So this is the most important and the fundamental question for blockchain based system, whether it's a cryptocurrency or it's any system which transfer the digital asset from the one party to the other. So let's get more about that in the next slide. Okay, here is another important aspect of the blockchain technology. As I have the text here from the one of the website which I have referred as a source here. You can take a look and you can read it. It's a good read. This trust problem has been defined as the Byzantine Generals problem. That's the name of this particular problem. And here is Mark Anderson, who's the founder of the Netscape. He said the mysterious new technology. And what that means is he's referring to the Bitcoin, which is based on a blockchain. So it's pretty much this kind of mysterious technology which seemingly emerged out of nowhere, all of a sudden. And again, that doesn't mean it just came out of the vacuum. No, there's a whole bunch of research behind the technology, like almost 40 years of cryptography is the back of this technology. But Bitcoin is the first one who provide the practical solution to this problem, which is known as the Byzantine Generals problem. It means how to create a trust in a trustless system, right? And the practical consequences of solving this problem is that Bitcoin gives us, for the first time, a way for one internet user to transfer a unique piece of digital property to another internet user, such that the transfer is guaranteed to be safe and secure, and everyone knows that a transfer has taken place, and nobody can challenge the legitimacy of the transfer. So that was the problem blockchain is actually solving, creating a trust in a trustless system. Okay, so moving on, as you're talking about this specific problem which blockchain is solving is the Byzantine Generals problem. It was first published in 1982. And since then, there are many attempts to solve this problem. But back in 2008, when the Bitcoin white paper came out, and that's provided a best solution to this problem and has had by far the biggest adoption in the blockchain technology. So what this problem is, I'm going to read it from the same publication which actually explained this Byzantine general problem. So imagine a group of generals of the Byzantine army. They are surrounding a castle of the enemy, and they have to attack and they conquer the city. But the problem is these generals need to communicate with each other via the messengers, and they have no idea which one of those messengers and any of the other generals which one is on their side, and which one is traitor or spy in them, right? So they need to come up with the establish a trust. So more generally, this Byzantine General problem poses the question of how to establish trust between the otherwise unrelated parties over the untrusted network like the internet. So that's pretty much the same problem which these generals facing with each other and communicating and coming up with the strategy so that they all have a consensus on, right? So here's a situation where all of these generals, they need to come on agreed upon a consensus so that everybody attack, and this is the only way or the sure way for them to get the victory. If they do not have a coordinated attack, means like some of them attack and some of them not at the same time and run away, then probably they're going to end up with the defeat. So this is where they need to establish a trust by having a communication system where they all agreed upon a single strategy, which is called the consensus. And this is where the Bitcoin and the blockchain technology is providing and solving this Byzantine general problem and coming up with a solution where even though if you do not trust each other, they can still agree on a consensus on the single strategy. And all those systems who solve this problem, they've been called Byzantine fault tolerance. So this is going to be something you're going to be seeing a lot when you are studying about the blockchain and the Bitcoin. And all of these systems are referring to Byzantine fault tolerance, the different implementation of the blockchain, and the very important thing you need to know, like what approach they are using for to make their system Byzantine fault tolerance, which means how they're solving this problem. So how Bitcoin is solving this problem? So Bitcoin has its own Byzantine fault tolerance protocol, which use a proof of work, which is guessing work, we call it, to produce a chain. So before the block is added to the chain, they have to go to the proof of work consensus, and then they also have the protocol which allow the system to only select the longest chain. So longest chain is and the proof of work is a solution which is providing a Byzantine fault tolerance solution, which is going to solving this problem to establish a trust for the system which is totally trustless. So we'll see all of these items: proof of work, 51% attack, which is how to select the longest chain, and all of these terms in more detail as we go along the course. So let's continue.